allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Start again.
Jim Legan, President. Doug Trees here.
Danny Dunn is here.
Mark Reynolds here.
Open forum, anybody have anything from the floor?
Oh, me.
You? No?
Nope, not me.
Nothing? Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's-
Make a motion to have Denny Bennett act as the president.
Second.
We did roll call.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Correspondence. Got a letter from Westcom for participating in the regional Mavis training. Got also a letter from Bolingbrook Fire Department for assisting them with a mutual aid call. Got a thank you note from the Hagerman family for the flower arrangement we sent. Also a thank you from the Jim Coogan's family for the arrangement for his mother. And also a thank you note from Judge Licklower for the gift card for the swearing in. And have another thank you note from Nancy White. This involved a rescue call that the guys responded to and took her in. And that's it. Approval of the meeting, minutes of the meeting of December the 9th and 16th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
December's treasury report. The approval of that.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Payment of the bills.
Unanimous.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Old business. Chief?
You have some of the reports relative to the stations and properties in my report to you, and some of the regular routine things, changing filters and things along those lines. As part of the bills, I don't know that we got it this month, was the water bill situation we had in old headquarters. Chief Stratton was on top of that with the fall, they got that repaired, and have also, John met with representatives from the village to get some substantial consideration on the bill that we will be receiving. We did receive in this packet, so we've already paid it, but it was almost half of what we were obligated to, but because of their policies there, they've given us this dispensation. We got it repaired, jumped on it as soon as we could, and we're trying to, I spoke with Boy Scouts yesterday and any of the other agencies that are using our properties down there when we don't have a representative there. We're just asking them to be a little bit more vigilant on the use of the property, and then the following day at the latest, if not that same night, that one of the battalion chiefs or one of the maintenance personnel will go over there to make sure thermostats are back down, the water's not running anywhere, the lights are off. Just those routine things that sometimes sneak past us.
On that same note, the Boy Scouts would call me every time they were there and when they left. checking the heat as well.
Yeah, we're just gonna make extra sure.
Right, no, that's fine.
Part of the routine. Any questions on any of that?
Did they check that generator? Did you mention that, Paul?
No, I did not.
This is around Saturdays for an hour?
It does. It did. I actually ran the current, it called me last week and said it was running as it's supposed to be, and I said, yeah, it doesn't anymore, or else it needs to be checked.
Yeah, it's always been set up for
A couple of times at like 2 in the morning, the thing's been screaming and running, and we've been downtown, and there's no power outage. And it's been on and running, so maybe I have to just check and see if there's
We'll give it to Paul
a
tomorrow.
setting on there. or something.
Mike or something, get Mike's got his hands full right now. We'll give it to Paul. That's all with that. Want me to move into the, well, Station 2, you can see that they're working on that. We got the permit. They started yesterday on the build out of the Italian Chiefs facility, and that's going along pretty well. They've got a lot of stuff done already, and so they're moving along. Questions?
It's gonna be mine. You answered it.
Okay.
Okay, we got, Lieutenant Butler and Murphy. Is gonna give us a proposal on the training facility.
This is that information you guys received in the past. Chief Stratton has passed it out before. Lieutenant Butler and Lieutenant Murphy have done a lot of the legwork on this, and I've asked them to give you a little thumbnail sketch of what they've, the work they've done on this so far, so.
Lieutenant Murphy and I got together and we talked about the assessment of the needs and the wants that we would need within our district. Everything from our commercial to residential. So we split everything up into 2 buildings, a non-burn and a burn building. In this way we can keep one building clean at all times. We can run other special teams in there, whether it be technical rescue, the hazmat team, or whatever. So we're not calling through a dirty building, per se. So we split it up into 2, and then again, we just crunched everything together to figure out how to get all the needs and wants that be needed for the building. So I'll just give you a quick overlay of kind of what they consist of and what they have inside of them. The non-burn building, everything's set up for, again, for all our special teams and for the fire department. It comes with forcible entry doors. Everything is all said and done, 100% complete. They'll come in, stack the cans, weld them up and finish them up. They're pre-painted and they're all ready to go. We can accomplish a lot of the things that we're looking for as a department. Multiple windows for throwing ladders, practicing rescues. Again, staying on top of our game.
Which is which?
Right now, I'm going to go over the non-burn.
Okay. Which would be which building? Or that whole structure?
Yeah, what you're looking at is the front side on the left, and then the right will be the rear side.
All right.
If you look, it's kind of hard to see if you guys look on the sheet, the floor plan. One of the big benefits with this company, with this structure is we could put, if you look at the print, there's 4 rails on the bottom and 4 rails on the ceiling. So what that allows us to do is we'll get panels with this facility. So we can have a building, essentially, that we can train and practice and be proficient in, that we would never have to use the same drill twice. We can move panels, we can set it up as bedrooms, hallways, corridors, an office building, we can do whatever we want, put furniture in there, and we would never have to do a same drill twice like a concrete solid structure. So this gives us a lot of room to play and to basically accomplish all of our tasks. There's other little things put in there, like I said, forcible entry doors. We have a breaching breaking product where we could actually slide slabs of brick and block. We can make walls with siding, just everything that we would normally hit on a rapid intervention. The second floor is laid out exactly the same. And then the third floor would be a wide open space. A wide open space would be more for our props. We could use them wherever, but this would just give us a large area if we wanted to practice an open area search in a decent sized room. With the top is mostly designated on this facility for most of our technical rescue. We could do all of our confined space entry through here, we can do all of our rappelling through here, and all these buildings meet and exceed OSHA and NFPA standards. They put their stamp on everything. So we don't have to worry about anchor points being not safe, or they're bounded. They're welded and secured and everything meets and exceeds. We would have a large hatch on the one side that would allow us to drop 30 feet down so we can do all of our vertical rescue, or again, confined space rescue. We could set scenarios up as a vessel if we wanted to. With the burn facility, again, we tried to accomplish all the needs. So this one kind of comes into more of a residential or commercial for what we do see on our job. Looking at it, it kind of looks like a setup of a residential house. What we do have is a garage that's all the way on the left picture. That's the front of the building. For the garage would be a simulator on that. We can pull a car in there, we can do whatever we wanted, and there'll be basically two brackets that will close in, and we can load garage door panels. So we can go over opening up garages, our cuts, and everything to gain access. Traditionally, in our past, we have had a very lot of garage fires. So, and again, we have our forcible entry doors all the way around. So as we're doing our 360-degree walk-arounds, we're staying on our game. You get to the rear, again, we have the forced entry to these doors. One of the unique things that we found touring the plant was a balcony. Never seen anyone with an actual balcony. So we do have them in town, which would be great for us. The biggest thing with this is, it was the setup and layout. This is where we really crunched our heads and beat up on the blueprint. The biggest thing is having your burn rooms in the center of the structure. With it being in the center, we got 3 points of access. So again, what we could do with this is we could shut 2 doors. Now we have 2 escape routes for the person inside the building, who's the stoker. And we can make companies go to 1 of 3 doors. So again, we can keep our members always guessing, to keep always on the game. There's 3, they're called breach walls. What those are is kind of similar to the non-burn. What those are is they're swinging doors. We can load them up with drywall, and we could practice breaching or entering, or we could put a door, an actual door in there, and make it like a bedroom, an office, a dining room, or whatever. So we can keep always moving, guys. It's not always come in, go to the left, and there's a door. There may not be a door there today. So we can always stay on our game and kind of stay ahead of the curve. On the right side is a stairwell with a standpipe. This is the exact same standpipe that we do have in our community. Which is called Enclave now, the former Parks Plainfield, Cedar Lake. These are the exact same stairwells we have there. So now we would have an opportunity to practice connecting into a standpipe, leading down a hallway, and making, the next floor. One of the real good things we came up with too was, again, going back to protecting ourselves, was a basement simulator prop. So we have a window wall prop, as you can see in the back left corner of the structure. So basically, we can have a fire in the fire room with the door open, so we can get some heat and smoke in there. And we can have our guys standing on top of that simulated garage, which there would be a window wall, and we would actually have to go in and get them. So I've never seen anybody around here who has anything like that. And again, we're trying to stay above the norm.
All your birds will be in one area every time?
Yeah, they're in a
Where
burn
that
room.
red area is, that's just gonna be the burn area?
On the first floor.
Oh, okay.
We have two burn rooms on the burn facility. It's just, there's a lot more that goes into it, again, to protect the building so they can last longer. It's heavily insulated and then sheeted. so it allows us to have fires in there.
We have enough options too, where we can build our drills around where the burn room is, you know, different entries, different entry points, things like that.
That stuff in the burn rooms would have to be replaced with this all?
From what they're saying, no.
Could you address any concerns about burning in that facility, environment-wise or neighborhood-wise, those issues that we discussed earlier?
Yeah, everything would be just how it's set up is they give you the option of what you are expecting to get out of the tower. So we went with a moderate heat. So what they give you is a cart, and we would slide 2 pallets in there, and then we would put a little bit of hay on top. So at the most, we would be getting is temperatures around the 500 to 550 range. Again, with the research and going around to multiple apartments, we've hit up Alsip, Frankfurt, Evergreen, U of I. We talked to a couple other people. And Frankfurt basically has the same layout as we do, with a big, large open field. They were very helpful, and they talked to us and said that basically the times that we're going to be burning is going to be on a spring or fall. They don't burn at all in the summer because they don't want to beat up on the guys. So to keep us strong and healthy and ready to go for the summer, we'll do more other relaxed drills so we're not overheating. In the summer or spring and fall, most of the people are either at work, kids are at school, doors and windows are shut. But if anybody did have a concern, they did open their doors to us. So again, with the layout being very similar to what we have, we can go to residents, we can run a bus, wherever, we could escort them over, we could show them. Everybody had the open invitation. So you guys could watch evolutions go. You can see how much smoke it does produce and how far it does travel. The second floor, pretty much similar to that first floor. Again, this gives us a little more options. We could stage holes on top of that garage. And then we could practice basement simulators. And then we have the balcony on the first or on the second floor. Yeah, we do have a hatch in the floor also. So we could practice that window wall prop, pulling somebody out, or we could actually go from the second floor and take them, pull them from the first floor up into it. Again, just staying on top of everything, you know. From what we were discussing and looking, we would want to put the burn facility more to the south end, and then the non-burn to the north to hopefully block or deter smoke from entering the subdivision or anybody having to see it. And with the non-burn facility on the north end, what that would do is there would be no smoke out of the back of the structure, so that whole back of the building will stay clean and look nice forever. The guy who told us the paint we would use, we would mirror the image of Mike's shop, so everything's going to look uniform within the campus. And the color with that tan, you usually get about 15 years out of it before you would have to repaint. It's kind of oblong because it's a Google Earth, but that pad is roughly about 140 by 140. So if you guys look at the print, we have still enough room to get in for pump testing for the pit and also the dry apparatus in there.
So you have to put concrete down before you put the, is that what you do, pour a concrete slab and then build them off of that slab? Is that the game plan?
Or pillars, I think they said they could do pillars too. They said that we could do pillars too.
They'll give you two options. They'll give you the plan. We can either pour a pad, or they'll give you the option of pouring pillars. And then they'll give that the rebar spec and everything else within that. And that goes back to with the training grounds, there would be some extra cost in there. We would have to, after we bought the two training facilities, we would have to first thing is cover the pad, however we want it. I'm going to suggest going with concrete. I talked to, again, Frankfurt, from pulling hose over the gravel so long, they're going through hose. It's ripping the jackets on the hose, they're having hose failures. And again, it's more of a safety issue, safety failure. Guys are tripping, hanging up on stuff, so.
The asphalt probably won't last.
No, the trucks will roll
Especially
right
if Mike's
out.
gonna be driving over to take a pump test.
Yeah, you'll be rolling that right out of there.
The next thing we also, if we were gonna go, depending on if we option it out as phases, would be, the red box on the top left would be like a dirty classroom. Thinking of the future and where we're directed and where we're headed, if we were to run classes in there, we need a place to conduct a class. Instead of bringing people that are dirty from being in a burn building or whatever it may be, just a place of refuge to go to get away, and then also look into some sort of a restroom. So those would also be things to think about. The red box at the bottom on the right, what that is there was an idea. We had, this is a picture from Romeoville. What they did was they just put another can on. Basically, what we would do is set that up where we can partition our wallet, so then you could have a storage place for all your hay, your pallets, your training mannequins, any tools or equipment we would need, radios. The electric runs right where that can would be, so we can keep the electric secured, everything secure on the property. Like I said, everything does meet NFPA OSHA standards. Your window door sizes, your stairwells, your railings, all the railings are removable. And then going also back to the burn, you'll see 2 roof simulators on there. Those are fully adjustable. Everything is a pretty much redesigned and they just go. So with 2 simulators, we could have drills running, and we don't have downtime, where most people would only have a drill, then they have to resheet, shingle to go to the next step. It comes with a computer, which is one of the nice things. We would get basically a notebook, and with that, they'll put 4 sensors. They'll put a sensor 2 foot off the floor, 2 foot down from the ceiling, on floors 1 and 2 in the burn room. So we could have a safety officer while we're doing our drills, and he can watch and keep track of what the temperature readings are in those rooms, so we're not scorching the guys or nothing's going wrong. Again, talking to other people and researching a lot, it was asked, what if we never fully put it out? And where it's located, we would never really see it. So an option is talking to them. That sensor and that computer does work 400 foot. So it may be close getting to station 2, but we could set an alarm on that notebook. We could set it for 200 degrees. It would alarm. Somebody could hear the bell and we would know we had something going in there. Or the second option is for a small upgrade, they could put a repeater on that. And then that notebook would have a range of 5 miles. So anybody can have it, just as a safety issue for that facility, just to make sure. It's got a full 1-year warranty that's on everything. They give us extra paint. Any doors, anything goes wrong. Very nice company to deal with so far. For building, they're guessing that the non-burn facility is about 12 weeks, and the burn facility would be about 14.
By the time you order them, or when they start building them?
He's saying from when you order them, with their the pace that they're doing now. They do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of quality work. I was just there the other day. They're actually building a 120-foot submarine for the Navy. So they do a lot of big jobs. And the qualities, the craftsmanship, that comes complete, like I said, on trailers. They unload them, the trailers. They would bring everything out on a Sunday. They would unload and start stacking, and it would be 3 or 4 days, and then we take the ownership of the facility.
So they're built right here in Lockport.
Yeah, right off on New Avenue.
They're new containers?
Brand new.
Do they have to be inspected every year by make sure the standards are up and everything, or?
I'm not 100% sure. I know with the concrete facilities they did, but I wasn't sure with that. I could ask.
Yes, they're just coming out with that now, because these are something that are just new out there in the market. They are starting to do that now. It's very new, it's almost like in a pilot program, so that they will be
They're
inspected.
gonna be inspected.
But we've also, with that inspection, we've got with another company close to us, when that inspector comes in, there's only a couple in the nation to do this. While he's here, he'll inspect our stuff at the same time, yes, so there's no travel cost. He's just here, it's just one more time, it's gonna be one more day to inspect our stuff, so. We've already been talking in conjunction with another agency that has a big burn building, so it's the same guy that do the inspection.
Now, I heard you mention repelling, but now, these will be tall enough, or one of them will be tall enough so that you can use for training on repelling and so forth too?
Yes, sir. 30 feet.
We have the options to start with shorter distances, you know, where people just learn and we kind of work out to that 50 feet.
We've met with the village on that, Denny, and our top is 35 feet is what the code is, and we're okay there, yeah.
So they don't have any,
Nope. I'll talk a little bit when John gets done.
When we did it, where were we at? We were at Frankfurt, right? No,
Manhattan,
Manhattan. Is that well with that?
that was about 35.
Okay.
We, a couple times have talked about this area here or the area out west of town. I think this is the best area for it.
Personally, yeah. The things I would have to look into is following 1403 for training. I don't know if we went out there. I don't know what the liability is to have a burn center with no hydrant. I don't know if there would be much added cost into putting a pond in to put a dry hydrant. And then again, it's bringing utilities in, concrete, being out in a remote area. I would suggest fencing and some sort of security. I would just be nervous. There's a lot of things that could go south out there. Centrally located, I think it would be better for the companies, where we could pull two companies, and we're not really far out. You know, we're still close to being in service, close.
I think it's probably better for you as long as we can do the burn building without.
Until the infrastructure gets out that way, what's nice about these, we can take them down and move it. That's what's so nice about that, so we're already moving.
Romeoville was the first one to get a facility from this company. And actually, Romeoville had their facility built on their property, and that's where they used it until they got their property set up. And then they just took it apart, relocated. So that is a huge benefit to this is future, we could take parts off, we could add parts. It's like being a kid and playing with Legos. There's just no end to it. It's very, you could adapt it for our needs for the future.
Chief, as far as the budget goes, this was already budgeted into the campus, so the money's already there from the funding before.
Right.
Okay.
There's, some of that money is gone because of the infrastructure cost, but from John's estimates, there's like $50,000 plus still just in that training fund, not counting the potential capital improvements if this unfolded over the course of a number of years. I think the recommendation here is to move forward with these two and think about that dirty classroom and some of those other components that we'd like to get, and that I think again falls into our strategic plan session that we'll have to try to step that out in a relatively short time frame. But
The cost that we have here on these are strictly the buildings and the setup, has nothing to do with the site prep or the finish prep out there, right?
Correct. But again, from researching and talking to people, getting into cost savings, there are a lot of cost saving measures out there. And there's a lot of people to tap into and resources, and we've made some phenomenal contacts with it. A lot of people have contacted union halls, so they're getting apprenticeships out there, whether it be the electricians union, the plumbers union, or local, the local 150 for a crane.